Hey there, it's William. Today we're going to show you how to fix a speed queen dryer that won't start. The issue might be happening due to a faulty door switch, a bad timer, or even a problem with the motor. Let's work together to find the problem and fix it step by step. Before we get started, take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you'll never miss our latest repair guides. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll need a 1/4 inch nut driver, a 5/16 inch nut driver, and a multimeter. Also, please remember to keep safety first. Always disconnect your dryer by unplugging it or switching the breaker off, unless you're testing for live voltage. Now let's get started. We're going to remove the terminal block cover and test for AC volts, which has a symbol that looks like a V with a squiggly line in the multimeter. Since we're dealing with live voltage here, extreme care should always be taken to protect against electrical shock, which could potentially result in serious injury. Please do not test live voltage if you're uncomfortable using a multimeter.
Now you can plug the dryer back in.
We're going to use our meter probes to test from the red wire to the black wire. If you get 240 volts AC here, you can unplug the power cord and check the timer. To access the timer, we're taking our 1/4 inch nut driver and removing the screws that hold the console to the top panel. While we're at it, let's go ahead and make sure the timer is moved to a time dry cycle. Once that's done, we're going to rotate the console forward. From here, we're going to remove the wire from the terminal labeled M. Now we're setting our meter to continuity, which looks like a sideways Wi-Fi symbol, and testing from terminal L1 to terminal M. If there's no continuity, then the timer has failed and needs to be replaced. If there is continuity, you can plug the wire from terminal M back in and continue troubleshooting. We're going to rotate the console back in place and secure it with the 1/4 inch screws we removed earlier. Now we're going into the dryer. This specific unit is missing the front panel, but once the 2 screws in front are removed, the panel would rotate forward and then down. The upper panel of the front of the dryer has 2 screws, 1 on each bottom corner. We're going to remove these screws with our 5/16 inch nut driver. Then we're rotating the bottom out to about 45 degrees and then moving it down. To help with putting this back together later on, it's a good idea to snap a picture of the door switch wiring so you have a reference point. Once you've done that, we can disconnect the wires for the door switch while leaving the door closed. The terminal bent at a 90-degree angle is our common terminal, which we're going to test for continuity to the terminal farthest away from it. If there's no continuity, like we see here, then the door switch would need to be replaced. If there is continuity,
We can set the front panel to the side so we can continue troubleshooting.
with it off, you should see 2 wires for the light, as well as a clip holding the wiring harness that needs to be removed. Then remove the 4 screws holding the front bulkhead to the frame. We're lifting up the bulkhead slightly, just so that it clears any tabs, then moving it down and out. Then we can just set it to the side. Now we're reaching back and removing the belt from the motor. Once the belt is removed, we can lift up the belt and use it to help pull the drum out. Then we can set them to the side. We're setting our multimeter to measure resistance in ohms, which has a symbol that looks like an upside down horseshoe. Our multimeter doesn't have a low resistance setting, so we are going to use continuity, which will give us the same readings. We're using the probes to test from terminal 3 to the copper wire on the back of the centrifugal switch. Then we're testing from terminal 5 to the copper wire on the back of the centrifugal switch. You should get a resistance reading between 1 to 2 ohms. Now we're setting our meter to continuity and testing from terminal 4 to the copper wire. There should be continuity like we see here. If there's no continuity or the motor failed the resistance test, then the motor has failed and needs to be replaced. During our testing, we found out that the door switch on the specific dryer has failed testing. If you ran into the same problem, I'm going to show you how to replace it. The switch is held in with 2 tabs that we need to press in. With the tabs pressed in, we're pushing the switch out of the front panel. Here's the old door switch and here's the new one. If you've already got one, great. If not, you can pick one up at AppliancePartsPros.com. The new door switch can be pushed into place. We're going to grab the drum and belt and install them both. Make sure the drum rests securely on the back rollers. Now we're going to grab the front bulkhead and install it, then secure it back in place with the 1/4 inch screws. Don't forget to reconnect the wires for the light and clip the wire harness back in. Once that's done, we can grab the top front panel, reconnect the wires, and angle it in towards the top panel. We're going to let the top brackets hook into the top panel and then rotate the front panel into place. Now we're going to secure the bottom of the front panel with the 5/16 inch screws that we removed. With that, we're done. Don't forget to plug the dryer back in or flip the circuit breaker back on. Once you've found the faulty part, whether it's a door switch or something else, grab your model number and head over to AppliancePartsPros.com to order a replacement, which should arrive in just a few days. After you get your new part, we'll walk you through the installation with our video guides. Share your experience with us by leaving a comment below. And if this video has helped you, hit the like and subscribe buttons to see more videos like this. Thanks for your support.